Bada bing, bada boom. I'm not gonna say alrighty, because it's a fake word. Now, Mr. Fewer, fuck you. How's your Austria going?
All right.
Shut the fuck up. No one loves it.
Yeah. Sorry, would you ask me how's my Austria doing?
Yeah, apart from not clicking this Indian button, which I'm gonna do, because it triggers me.
Yeah, that hadn't noticed that at the time when the game ended, so that will be clicked as soon as the game starts. Don't worry about that. In fact, I'll click it too. There. Meister's doing pretty good. I know people don't get to see what the previous video we did, which was like 4.5 hours long. Austria was not doing very good in that one.
No,
all things considered,
it could have been killed and destroyed.
Pretty rough state. That whole integrating Hungary thing set me back by several thousand monarch points. My tech was suffering pretty bad. I was admin tech 14, diplo tech 10, and military tech 13. And just for contrast, or for the sake of comparison, the Ottomans, my neighbor to the south, were a solid 15, 15, 15 at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, not great. I didn't have a lot of money. I had fucking religious heretics all over the goddamn place. So yeah, so to contrast this to that, this is like fucking night and day. Because if you click on the religious map mode, I'm almost entirely Catholic now.
Yeah.
Again.
And like two of the 5 provinces that you haven't converted are your gold mines.
And they'll come back. They were reconverted over as the age was ending. So that's fine.
Ah, okay. That's fucking Cancer.
Are they or?
Yeah, that's Cancer 1630. Oh.
Yeah.
Gross. So is that
Prague
the same for?
Is and Urs. Where's Urs? Yeah, Urs. Yeah. Urs is getting converted now. Olmutz is getting converted right now. Where's Olmutz? There.
It's such a rip.
Where's my gold mine? So the Slovak gold mine is not. It's Catholic.
Yeah, it's Catholic. It's just the least devved out of all 3.
Tyrol got reconverted. And Eger got reconverted, yeah. So that's right. So they both got reconverted pretty recently, unfortunately. That's fine. The big thing is they're all of those are now seats of parliament, except for
the Slovakian
New National in Slovakia. But I can make that one quick.
Yep.
So they're making me a lot more money than they were before. I did a lot of state readjustments and rearrangements because at the time I was out of states. I've removed, by getting rid of the Syrian stuff, I was able to remove Syrian as an accepted culture and added some other ones. I now accept most of the cultures that you see in my realm. The only one I don't accept is
Venetian and Ruthenian.
Yeah, and I gave up Venetian because I'm actually expelling them. So yeah. They're going to Australia.
Dirty Italians.
Like 2 provinces.
Fucking gross.
Ruthenian, I'm just going to culture swap, change that, because that one province isolated by mountains being Ruthenian, just get out of here.
Why is that
become Transylvanian.
Why is Cyprus Austrian? Did you kick them out as well?
Yep. No, I culture converted them.
To where?
No, I didn't send them anywhere. I culture converted. I just straight up made them. I made them Austrian. Yeah.
Why? Why not just kick them out?
Because fuck the Greeks. That's why.
Dude, send them to Melbourne. You have to get a Greek province and send them to Melbourne.
I don't. Okay, I'll do that. I'll invade my own colony and conquer it, and then send the Greeks.
Exactly. No, you need to send them to Melbourne. Which is Rurinengiri.
Okay.
You need to do that.
Yeah, so all things considered, I have 6 loans, so 2,454 ducats in debt. But that's because I took that to embrace the institution.
I was just looking at that.
Current on that. So I have some loans, but my income's still a solid 16 ducats a month. Not
80
too worried
overall.
about the loans. Yeah,
it'll jump up.
And I'm working on the various ideas and stuff. So I've got a couple economic ideas. I was finally able to do some of my defensive ideas as well. So I'm 2 away from finishing my Austrian ideas, which I think can wait. I think I'm going to catch up with the autos, and just get to Miltech 18 in general.
Yeah.
And I'll get back to the ideas. But point is, I have the economic ideas. I'm working on them, so the inflation reduction is going to help. So I'm not particularly worried about those things at the moment. They can sit and wait for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the big thing is just everything's a lot more stable. Economy's doing a lot better. I can actually maintain all my forts now at all times. I couldn't before.
Yeah.
It was that bad. That's how much unaccepted cultures and wrong religion in provinces matter. That's the difference between this Austria and the old Austria. It's that drastic. Yes.
And about the forts, with it, I see a few unnecessary ones, and I also see a straight line into the middle of Hungary that a certain Ottomans can take.
No. I will have to do some. I'll have to do some fort rearrangement. Absolutely.
Yeah.
These are all inherited forts. I haven't really done adjustments yet.
I was gonna say.
First things first was getting the economy running.
Depending on your naval situation and like your naval alliances, that would like dictate whether you actually put the forts on the coast or not. Because, for example, if you're going to be fighting Papal State, will you have the navy to make sure they don't blockade them? If you're fighting Ottomans, will you make sure they have the navy to not blockade them, etc.
Hi, Fao. Thanks for joining the recording.
Oh,
hey,
sorry.
Bal. Bal. How dare you?
You guys are still doing the server check, like the check.
Yeah, well, I brought, for those who don't know, I had that guy and Logan come in earlier to help me check something in the multiplayer save, so to see if we could do it, because we might be missing an important player next game, and we wanted to make sure that their country doesn't implode if they're not here. So we did a quick check to see if someone loads in and quits the game, and I uncheck that box that says the AI will be brain dead, if that'll actually work, and it does seem to work. So
yeah, and so I just woke up to a message, like a blinking Discord message saying, if you were saying, hey, can you log out, get into EU4 and check something with me? I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. So
we
did that, and then we were already in voice chat. So that guy was like, hey, let's do the next nation, Austria. I was like, all right, sure. And so we're in a different server where Fao is also here, and so he thought he'd come and help.
Dirty Dutch.
Well, since you're here, Fao, what do you think of the Austria now? If you're loading EU4, load the save up.
Well, I'm still loading up my computer.
Okay.
How dare you? Fucking.
Yeah, I just woke up.
Jeez. Isn't it like 9:30 for you?
Yeah. I'm a college student. Don't question my sleep schedule.
Yeah.
I'm gonna question it.
I think the biggest thing, I'm assuming you guys have covered all the fact that he's caught up in tech.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry. For those who aren't aware, just to clarify, I teched up 13 times last session. 6 Diplo, 3 admin, and 4 military techs. So. Well,
my first thought is Austria doesn't need the Netherlands to fight its colonial wars anymore, probably.
Well, no. By all means, stick around.
I mean, I've been mainly doing that because I've been bored.
Yeah, of course.
But I think the main thing to talk about with Austria, and I don't know if you've been doing that, is the diplomatic situation, which you have been kind of glossing over in your so far. That guy.
Yeah.
Because you're not super knowledgeable about it because you're in other chats.
I also don't want to talk about the Diplo because in most cases it's so personal that my land-based wants for a nation don't really matter.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think in this case, because Austria is so tied up with being the Holy Roman Emperor and maintaining this gigantic empire, that's a huge
point to cover.
Yeah, it is a massive point to cover, especially when the fact that he's juggling all these sometimes conflictory electors, and Fewer himself is not one.
Yeah.
So that is a huge factor.
Because they could.
Also, and fundamentally, a very huge weakness for Austria at the moment is the fact that it generates a lot of its power in this MP from being the emperor, but that can be taken away at any given time because
that's right.
The Austria does not have any say in the election itself.
Right. Now, currently, I get. Currently, I would only lose about 11 and a half of my total force limit if I was no longer the emperor. So that would be lost. I would lose some. I would lose some ducats.
Yeah.
So it's not as bad as it used to be. Like Austria at the start, if Austria loses the empire in 1444, its force limit drops from like 50,000 to 20,000.
22.
Huge blow.
Yes.
That guy would know nothing about causing
Nothing
that
at
to
all.
happen.
No,
Zero.
not at all. What? That guy and the empire? Why I never.
Perfectly beautiful relations.
For those who missed season 2, that guy demolished the HRE in 1452.
That's
or
fine.
no, 1446 actually.
1448 or 1446, one of the two.
Yeah.
So within
the
less than
Austrian
5
player
years from the start of the game, he got everybody. He got them to dismantle the HRE. Often to some of their own dismay, it turned out.
Yeah.
They did not.
That was one of the true and only lies that I've ever told, so fuck off with that spider shit.
But yeah, like the big thing that Austria faces is the fact that while still like they've caught up in tech, but they're still somewhat behind, and they're surrounded by people who have been keeping on the cutting edge of it. Namely the Ottomans, of course, but also the Italians. And the Italians, while small, can really, if they got uppity against the emperor, could put up quite a bit of fight just because the sheer amount of money they can throw around. Like what we saw with the Pope hiring literally half of Europe to fight a war for Tunis.
Yeah.
But so I think that's kind of like Austria does rely heavily. I've talked to Fuhrer on this before. Rely heavily on his Diplo game.
Yes. Which is why I've done my absolute best to make sure I'm on point with that game. And I'm not infallible. I could be wrong about a lot of things. Everything could fall apart tomorrow for all I know. Who knows?
You two continue talking. What
doing my damn best.
EU4 is being EU4 and not wanting to load.
Of course.
Fair enough.
So, what do you... Forgive me, I haven't really checked some of your latest reviews. What else do you usually cover?
I go over economy, government reforms, potential how to increase your, like, the idea group selection, just basically whatever catches my eye, I do it.
Okay. So going to government reforms,
yeah.
We kind of covered it the last time, but again, they haven't seen that. I still don't quite know why I took regional representation instead of the test because that would have saved me so much time. I'm still as baffled about that one as you are, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because like, I think it was to try to get more from the trade companies, and I thought I didn't really need more states or something.
I mean, you
but
don't.
Then Hungary happened, and I'm like, yeah.
You fully stated all of
I think,
mainland.
And then Hungary happened has been the state of your Austria game.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. So we're good now, but I could have stated everything quicker and not had to juggle a few things if I'd done
that guy, while I have you here, follow up on your thing from the Netherlands thing. What the political dynasties does for the Dutch Republic is it just gives both guys +1 stat.
I wasn't sure because they're both technically random. And I was like, I guess it could give you, like, that weird cousin decision that it has for some other republics.
It just gives +1 stat to both candidates. It's kind of hilarious.
Okay.
It's such a terrible decision, by the way, the whole cousin thing.
I've never liked it.
They're apparently changing that in the next...
Thank God.
They better, because the whole point of it was to be like, oh, look, you can have a republic and, like, keep the Medicis in Florence, but then it's like, your cousin Vinny takes over, and he's not a Medici at all. Like, fuck off.
Your cousin takes over, and he's on average 101. Like,
and his last name is like de Montferrat or something. You're like, God damn.
Do I only have women cousins
apparently?
Or really, really bad male cousins. You're just not good at it.
Either way, just move them all to Texas or Alabama or whatever it is.
The cousins, he means, yeah. Texas needs more cousins.
While we're on the topic of Austria and the Italians and them getting uppity, what is Austria's fleet like at the moment?
Austria doesn't have a fleet. Don't tell me otherwise. Like,
I have 21 transport ships,
2
have
galleys,
2
7
galleys
lights.
and 7 lights.
It's not a fleet. It's a fucking piece of wood.
That is a very big flaw.
Yeah.
Right now, as I see it.
Which,
Yes, of course it is.
what?
Especially for a colonial nation to not have any heavies.
Honestly, he doesn't need them. He doesn't need to play a navy game.
The transports are more what I need to be able to ferry the troops. To be honest.
He doesn't.
Oh, I guess also I can't talk being the provider of 33 heavies for you whenever you want them.
Exactly. And also, like, Australia doesn't have enough dev for it to really matter in a grand scheme of a war. So he doesn't need to care about defending it.
And more importantly, I mean, I can actually start to put it, now that the economy's up and running, it's lower on the list, but I can start putting points into those trade company buildings.
Yeah.
So I can boost my naval force limit. But at the moment, I only have 6 more naval force limit. I have 30 ships. I can only get 30.
I mean, the
so
main
I don't
one
have a lot of fleet space at the moment to begin with, but that can change in time.
The main one I go for every time is the townships and the officer mess ones, which is the +5 land force limit and the 0.1 army tradition. Like, they're the main 1,000 gold buildings, company garrison and foreign influence, just because they're so strong. And also, the brokers exchange, the local venture one, the second tier, 50% production efficiency. That's typically just always great, because you can still build manufactories in these trade companies. And
yes. I mean, all the buildings are really nice to have. Like,
yeah, it's just
prioritize which ones
some
best.
are more equal than others. Like.
Yes. No, they're absolutely lucrative. So yeah, I'll definitely prioritize some of those. I might get that naval force limit one is tempting though. I might put that at one of them.
Yeah.
If I can get a few of those, because I have the regions. I do have the regions. I have different trade companies all over the place. I could get
the question
couple
though
increases.
becomes fewer though is, and I guess that guy, feel free to chime in. At what point does your force limit get big enough for you to actually sustain a fleet without changing your current composition?
Yeah.
Because
I'd say at max you want 40 like transports, like just ever.
Yeah. Yep. That's.
If you're transporting more than 40,000 men at a single thing,
exactly.
who the hell are you D-Daying?
Yeah, exactly.
You mostly want to walk your army over land, like, if ever possible. So
yeah, I generally do this in single player too. The most transport ships I'll ever try to have is enough to transport one full army at a time.
I build transport ships as I need them in single player. Like, honestly, I just don't care about transports ever. Unless I'm like going for an invasion of Britain, then I just use them as blockers for like another transport fleet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But the catch for Austria developing a navy though is because you do need, after a certain to engage in the situation that this MP is in, to engage in like a major naval conflict, you need a lot of heavies. It's
impossible to engage in a naval conflict as anyone other than Spain, Portugal, Britain, and the Philippines. Like, everyone else.
And the Netherlands.
Well, yeah, that's basically this little pocket in the west coast, of Europe is the only ones who can really fight navally.
Yes.
Anyone else, there's no point unless you want to spend like 2 idea groups doing naval ideas.
Because the big thing about naval stuff is you need a lot of coast, and
you also need a lot of quality.
And you need a lot of quality too.
Well, that's what I was getting at was because you need a lot of heavies, and the sheer amount of time it would take for you to build them.
Even then, like 20 heavies of Austria probably couldn't beat 5 or 10 of Spain's. So like,
probably not.
Because they have that artillery fire, they have the heavy ship combat ability, naval leader maneuver, etc., etc.
Yep, exactly. They would never be able to win anything like the Austrian Navy, historically. So they would be their only purpose would be fodder. In which case, I'm better off with transports.
And transports and light ships, because you can still use light ships.
Yes, and I can just use it to secure trade anyway. So
because you do have access to Venice. So Venice node. So
yep.
Is that actually your
no?
trade?
No, my main is Vienna.
Still Vienna.
Yeah. Well, there's no point. I don't have the Venice itself. I think Verona is also a center. In the Venice node, it is, yeah. And then Ferrara is a river estuary, so it also gives bonus trade. So that's 3 major centers of trade in the Venetian node that I do not have. I'm just better off feeding into
4
that.
actually.
Vienna instead. 4, yeah.
Because Milan.
That's right, because the Pope is 1 on 2.
And Pope,
Urbino.
yeah, Urbino, so
Milan,
5.
for
Milan,
this
yeah, so-
for the rest of this patch, Milan is a center of trade in Venice.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, so no, it's better. I realized a while ago it's better to not bother feeding through Venice and just feed it to
Yeah,
Vienna.
it's either you make a deal with them and give them money, or you move your center of trade to Saxony and then just push money out of Vienna into Venice and like get money from Milan.
which I might do if I decide to take maybe merchant or trade ideas.
If you take trade
I
ideas,
would
just
want
keep it
that-
to yourself.
I would want the caravan. Yeah, I would want the caravan steering before I feed anything through to. Yeah, before I feed anything through to the Saxony node, I would want that first. So
Also,
otherwise, I'll just keep.
regarding trade, with your Wallachia, you can get them to divert trade to you.
Yep.
That's another 5% in the Constantinople node.
Yep.
So that's 16, and
do
you
that.
already pull out 8.
There's a few things I can do with Wallachia. I haven't fully decided what route I want to take with them yet.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to be disappearing, at least not by my hand. Things could happen. I could lose Wallachia at some point, but I won't. I don't have plans on annexing or anything because I spat them out for a reason.
Yeah.
You deal with the Romanian cultures, you bastards. Go away.
Also, regarding you have an extra merchant, I'd put that in Krakow
Yes.
or Crimea.
Probably Krakow. I have more trade power there.
Yeah.
Feed it through.
I'm just thinking Crimea
You
because it
had
increases
Southern
trade
Lights.
power
Where
in
are they
Constantinople.
currently at?
They are currently busy. They're feeding through Ragusa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, if they're anywhere near Venice, they're doing no good.
Nope, they're the Ionian Sea at the moment. They need upgrading, but
Yeah.
you can do that at the start of the game.
The best places for you to build your level 3 ports, level 3 trade centers would be in the Constantinople node and the Ragusa node. Honestly.
I would still probably want one in Vienna.
Well,
itself.
yeah, and in Vienna, but you have 4, and you only have 3 outside of. No, you actually have 4 outside of Vienna. But as you expand your trade companies, like with Madagascar, when you finish that off, you should have the most trade power in there, unless Andalusia still dominates it, etc., etc.
They do. I only have 12%.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think there's more actual centers of trade and trade power on the coastline of the Kilwa node than in Madagascar.
Well, the thing about the
2.
Madagascar.
No, I have 1.
You can
One in
get 2 though. The
can't
thing
get
about
2. I have to
Madagascar node
continue that.
is that you can do the investments into the trade company to increase the power by 50%. So like if you did that, you actually have 18%, and then even if you upgrade the ports, etc., build the trade buildings in there, you could get up to easily over 50.
Oh yeah, no, I've little doubt I can do that. It's just a matter of time and money is all.
Yeah, and then once you do that, you get the extra merchant, etc., etc.
Yep.
Extra merchant, which means extra world ports, which means Gucci.
Yes. Exactly.
Gucci.
Yep. No, it's just a matter of priorities. My main priorities were reorganizing and cleaning up the home front first. Now that that's mostly resolved, I can worry about investing in other areas as well as my home front too. I still want more buildings. I don't have enough buildings still. I still need to do more of that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you need a lot of buildings.
yes, I do. Baby steps. I had to fix everything up first. Now I'm making some money. I can actually start looking at investing in buildings.
I'd focus the workshops, honestly.
Yep, I would too. Workshops and
I
manufacturers.
believe the Bohemian Crystal event's about to fire.
Yeah, it's about to in like a year, at
Good.
least.
That'll be great. That'll be a nice influx of cash and change to crystal. That'll be very nice.
Yeah, because you just need to pay off your loans and then you can just start building everything.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
Subsidies, apparently Milan's paying you.
A little bit. Yeah, but
Netherlands
it's
is
free.
paying you.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, fleet basing rates.
Oh, it's.
Yeah, fleet basing.
Oh yeah, fleet basing
doesn't
rights. That's
count.
right.
Says
Yeah,
AU Haida.
Milan's giving me a
I
tiny
pay
bit
you
of
for the
that,
privilege
which I
of fighting
appreciate.
your colonial wars.
Yeah, yeah, because you kept those. Yeah, you kept the fleet basing rights, and I haven't taken them away. It's apparent because we're allied anyway. So it's like, oh, you want to give me an extra ducat? Sure, go ahead.
I totally forgot that costed me money until that guy pointed out in the video, and I was like, yeah, it's not.
Yeah, actually, who else is? Oh yeah, Ayutthaya is also paying me money too because they have fleet basing rights.
Yes.
You're each giving me almost 2 ducats.
It's very popular.
Yeah, it's 1.9 always.
Yeah, it is. Really, is it now? Okay.
Yeah, it's
it
just
used
1.9
to be like
around.
dependent on coast or something. I forget how the calculus was.
Like everyone is just paying 1.9 to each other. It's a really weird mechanic and underthought, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like that's really the result of some balance changes or something.
Yeah, I feel like it's just.
It used to be
flat.
It used to not be. It used to be variable depending on a couple different factors.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people paying 0.4 ducats in harbor fees before.
I haven't seen it.
The size of the nation that you're paying, that you're renting
it's like
the harbors from.
Sweden's also paying 1.9, so is France, so is Hamburg, etc. So it's just like, I feel like at some point it's just been changed.
Yeah, it's a very odd number, to be honest.
It is.
Very specific.
Maybe it might be based on colonial range too, so that might be why everyone's at 1.9, because we all have a certain colonial range.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Not really. It can't be, because a lot of those people have different colonial ranges because
of exploration ideas. Ayutthaya has Tech 12 Diplo, so he doesn't have much.
Yeah.
But yeah, mainly, you also have to get advisors, level up the ones you have, etc., etc.
Yep. Oh yeah, I gotta put up Diplo advisor.
You've got all those cultures accepted, which you love doing.
Well, they already all the ones that matter are accepted. I'm not going to be keeping Sundgau. It's the stupid province. It's actually the home of the Habsburgs. It's right below Alsace. I'm not going to be keeping that.
It's right in the middle of Ulm.
Yeah.
So 5 guesses as to who's going to get that province.
Milan.
Yeah, oh, you got it.
And regarding tech, I do tech 17 Diplo and then just not do any more, because you've already got all the colonial range you need.
Yeah. No, that's right. I'm going to be pouring some points into investments after this.
Yeah. Like each gold mine level 13-ish. Because even with the negative 35 from Intolerance, your Tyrol gold mine, because of its fucking modifier, is making like 7 ducats, 6 ducats.
Yep. It's easily the majority of my. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a great problem.
It's basically a tenth.
It's such a great event.
An eighth of your income right there.
Yep.
Production, trade. Again, trade. I really.
My trade's always on the low side.
I don't think you can afford to get trade ideas.
No, I don't think so either. I was more saying if I wanted to, that I would, before I move anything to Saxony, I would want to get those ideas first if I was going to do that.
Well, you should also, looking at your decisions, because I have that open now. You can form a Indian trade company right now.
Yeah, we know.
We know. I don't remember who I was sitting around looking at the save with, like on Sunday, but I was looking at the save with someone, and I saw that, and I was like, oh my god, I could have done that? Damn it. So, yeah, that was something that came up midway through the session.
That would help you pay off one loan immediately.
And getting a merchant to push from
That's right.
Commonwealth. But the thing I was saying with moving to Saxony is so that you can then, was about making a deal with Milan, so that way you can then push trade out of Vienna instead of holding it there.
Yeah.
Which is...
Especially since Saxony is currently worth nothing, so...
Exactly. The only reason you're moving it is so that you can benefit more from a trade deal with a trade nation.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be getting trade ideas to then, do that.
No, of course. Of course.
Fucking...
The other thing is looking at your forts.
Yeah, I was saying
know that too. Yeah. Okay. All of those forts are inherited from AI. So
I moved the Dalmatian to Hum. Belgrade is alright-ish. It'd be better if it was on a river.
But yeah.
It's on hills, which is the main thing.
I'd rather be in Smyrmian, I think.
Oh, that's farmland, so it's doesn't have that -1 for
Yeah, but it
doesn't have that
it's
10%
got rivers on all
procedures.
sides though too.
Yeah, but if they attack over onto it and are sieging it, they then don't get the rivers,
Yeah.
the river negative if you
No, I know.
attack onto
You
them.
have to be physically there for them to get
Yes.
the river crossing.
Don't worry, guys.
I'd move. I'd also put one on obviously Temeshk.
Yes.
Get rid of the Treviso one because honestly, if they're there, like that's just the only province that Tyrol and Cartan aren't protecting, and Tyrol and Cartan are both Tyrol and Cartan are both mountains.
I could probably move Tyrols to Sud Tyrol, to be honest.
Yeah.
And that'll just get more coverage.
Yeah. Prague, perfectly fine. Vienne, not sure if it's needed, honestly. Like, it's good, but...
I mean, the downside of moving the Tyrol one...
I tend to always keep a fort at the capital.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
The downside of moving it to Sud Tyrol, though, is it then leaves Salzburg and that whole area not covered.
Yeah, I know. So I can put one in Salzburg. But either way, I have to put a couple more forts down.
So,
Again, you also have to judge your forts by your diplo, though.
Yes.
Bloody... So... let's look at your force limit buildings. You can get about, I'd say, 8,000 from your building, like the top 9 force limit buildings. No, about 10,000 from building the top 8-ish force limit buildings. Like, bloody hell, my math is horrible.
You see 1, 2, 3,
5,
4, 5,
6.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah, I think
16 plus 1.
I think the force limit buildings are one of the few.
Some of those are in the trade company, but
Yeah.
still.
But
they're all +1.
they offset it. The trade company gives a -90 or is it -100 to manpower?
Yeah, to manpower, but I don't know about force limit, because it should still factor it for the
I was
+1.
thinking about manpower thingo. I forget.
Let me see here.
There's not a province that you can really check it on because you have to remove it first.
because I have to actually remove it first. Yeah.
Fucking 1 second. Debug_mode. Colonize 2696. So it 100% trade power, -100% tax, -200% missionary, -100% manpower, 100% sailors, 0.5 force limit, naval force limit, sorry, and plus 10% institution spread. So it gives a bonus to trade, naval force limit, and institution spread.
Yeah, but it doesn't actually get a reduction in land force limits.
No.
I think that would still apply.
Yeah, so you can put those
the
there.
+1 should still be valid. Yeah.
And with the training fields, they give 100% manpower to the province, so you can now get manpower back initially from these provinces, which are already nearly giving manpower back. They're all around -53 just because of autonomy.
Yep. But that's actually one of the only decent things about having regional representation is it reduces. I get that.
Yeah, that trade company
extra
thing.
15% extra. Yeah, so I get reduced for that. So
I am very confused as to how you have Kievan separatists.
Because of Marmara, which is the one Ruthenian province that exists.
You need to
on
kick
Bray,
them out. You need to.
Because that's supposed to be Carpathian Ruthenian.
You need to if you export the religious, if you export the religion, then it exports the culture as well. So.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yep. I might do that. I might just convert it, but I'll probably just export it.
Yeah, that's probably the next thing you should do when you colonize is export that minority, because that is your only source of unrest at the moment.
Exactly. Which is great, because I had like 12 to 15 different rebel types at the start of the session. Now I'm down to 1.
Hell yeah, brother.
That's the power of accepting cultures.
It's also like your only culture left that isn't accepted in the entire country.
Exactly. It's literally the only province left. Once Friuli finishes.
Yeah.
Because I did unaccept Venetian to accept that.
To do that.
We're busy recording.
Cody, shut the fuck up.
He's gone.
Um,
Alright. The other thing is that you do have, going off of the diplomacy thing, if you make a deal to deal with Milan to temporarily sell you Verona and Venice, you can just click a button and gain +1 tax income and 10% production efficiency and 5 mercantilism for 10 years, and then just give it back or don't.
yeah, we were talking about
So
that in the
that's-
original one. The main positive from that would be the 5 mercantilism, because the other stuff
Yeah.
is only for 10 years. But then it's like
Yeah, but
200 admin to call that shit for Milan again. Like, actually
Yeah,
no,
that's
way
true.
more, because it's 25 dev each. Ish.
yeah, but the catch is Fewer doesn't have to court at all. He just has to own it.
Exactly, so Milan won't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
And Venice is one of his parliaments, you think.
but yeah, I think that basically covers it, mainly because you've already done everything that we said from the initial review that wasn't
Yeah.
posted.
That wasn't posted. No
It's
one
just
saw. Yeah.
it's just building buildings, taxation, like just building buildings is your only concern. Maxing
Yeah,
out that force limit.
Literally. Yes.
Well, not maxing it
all
out
things
because
that
you
all
can't.
things that are going to be coming in
It's
time.
just all the natural stuff. Estates. That's the main thing. Contribution.
Yeah,
You
I can remove some of my clergy because I
You can
had a lot. I
also-
put a lot of them there for the religion, for the conversion stuff.
You should also give more land to the burgers, get them over
Burgers,
75%, and then take
I will
that
be.
influence money. Because right now it's only 250. And yeah, you can establish new world connections, grab that extra 150 from the admin clergy, ooh-wee. Yeah, good stuff. Alrighty, so that basically covers it. The fucking outro, yeah.